Millions of Americans are heading to the polls in the midterm elections, the results of which will determine the remaining 2 years of Joe Biden's first term as president. For the very latest, we can cross live to Orlando, Florida, and speak with Arise U.S. correspondent Rotimi Kade. Rotimi, thank you for joining us on Newsday. Good to see you. Voting Day in America. Tell us, what's the feeling like, and which party is feeling more energized as polls open?
Well, to be very honest, I think both parties are actually very, very enthusiastic to see how they can sustain the momentum. But more particularly, Republicans are very, very optimistic that they can actually twist, or I beg your pardon, turn the tide against the Democrats. So for where I am in Orlando, we've seen more Republicans coming out to vote than Democrats. Most of the Democrats or independents are really not coming out. Some of them actually blame the fact that maybe nothing is going to change. If you recall, 2 years ago, during the Joe Biden, President Trump general elections, there was a lot of things that went on, and obviously many people are not, really fired up to actually come out. But we've seen more Republicans coming out to see how they can turn the tide, because from all the exit polls so far, it favors Republicans that they're most likely going to, win both the House of Representatives and also the Senate.
Oh, wow. We certainly will be watching that with bated breath. But we know there are a number of key battleground states. Now, tell us which results we should be looking out for that will determine who takes control of the House and the Senate.
Well, I think, first of all, I think we have to look at Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania right now is really a tie between Deputy Governor, I should say, Fetterman, and, of course, the popular TV Dr. Oz. That is tied neck to neck, and most likely nobody can say for sure who is going to win that until perhaps maybe at the end of today when the votes are counted. Also here in Florida, Val Demings, House of Representatives, a congresswoman who is now contesting for the seat of the Senate against Marco Rubio, a Republican. That is also a close tie, most likely going to be a toss-up because Val Demings is coming with a lot of energy against Marco Rubio, who has been more or less like a veteran in this parts of Florida. And from the polls that we're seeing, it seems to be favoring Marco Rubio more than Val Demings. Well, Val Demings is putting the last touch on all our preparations and everything to ensure that she flip, which is going to be a breaking news for Marco Rubio to lose. Also, we're going to be looking at the governor's elections. That's the gubernatorial elections in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis is looking very, very likely to clinch a second term in office against former Governor Charlie Crist, who moved from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party. And that also is something to look out for. But most likely, from all the exit polls that we're seeing, Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, may likely retain that. But going back to New York, we have Governor Hochul, who obviously was a deputy governor from when she ascended to the position of the governor, and when former Governor Cuomo actually resigned over abuse of office. She is finding it very, very difficult against Lee Zeldin, the Republican candidate, whose message has been on crimes and criminalities in New York and also the economy. And right now, I think why a majority of the polls are favoring Republicans is just because of what is the topmost on the plate of Americans, which is inflation and inflation. a lot of people are finding it very difficult to live by, and that obviously the Democratic leadership at the national level are not paying attention to that. If you recall, President Biden actually made a national address talking about the democracy is at stake if Republican wins. It's trying to refer to what happened in 2020, January 2020, when the insurrectionists actually stormed the Capitol Hill. So, but that is not resonating well with the people. I think what's resonating well with the people right now is how they can get out of their economic
Could you please take your
conundrum.
seats? We are going to begin.
Well said. Now, of course, you've pointed out the inflation being a crucial matter right now, but what issues have been on voters' minds in this campaign besides that?
Well, also, I think what has been, apart from inflation, has also been how possibly the economy can, improve better than what it is. The Democrats are not really given the, other options on the minds of the people in terms of the alternatives. But don't forget also that Roe v. Wade that was overturned by the Supreme Court is also very germane, especially to women. Women believe that they have rights to their body, and the polls also show that the majority of people favors the the choice movement, which means that they have a choice over their body rather than being dictated to by the government. But at this time, perhaps maybe that could come in second place, apart from inflation and the economic woes that is ravaging many homes right now. Don't forget also that the Fed also increased the basis point in terms of the interest rates, and that also is also very, very a big concern to many voters at this time. I really don't know how Democrats are going to pull this off, but at the end of maybe 24 or 48 hours, we're going to likely see how that is going to really change the tides against them.
All right. Well, thank you for that analysis. So we will keep our eyes on those results as they trickle in. That's Arise US correspondent Rotimi Kade. Thank you so much.